Okay, so power rules. All right, first of all, we gotta know what a power is. Oh yeah, we're ready. We're spirit week, right? So, power is you have a base, that's b. You have an exponent, that's x, and b to the x. The whole thing is a power, right? So, when we're talking about these power rules, we have some basic ones. First one, the product rule, right? The product rule says, hey, when I'm multiplying two powers, right, that have the same base, right? The same base, okay? Then I can add the exponents. So b to the x times b to the y equals b to the x plus y, okay? Now the quotient rule states, hey, if I have two powers with the same base, then I can subtract the exponent, right? And so b to the x over b to the y is equal to b to the x minus y. Now this gets kind of complicated, and that's why what I did here is I like to show it to the students. There's a little bit, yeah, I think we can see it. Yep, you see team 3. All right, so what I say is, look, circle your biggest exponent, okay? And then take the smallest from the biggest and keep it where the biggest is. So what that means is, if I have b to the x over b to the y, and y is bigger than x, then I'm going to take x away from y. So but that leaves a 1 on top, okay? So it's going to be equal to b to the y minus x, but that's in the bottom because the bottom is the winner. It's the bigger of the two as far as the exponents are concerned, right? So next, what if x is bigger? Well, then I can just take the y from the x and leave it in the top, okay? And then this way, I always end up with a positive exponent. But what happens, right, when we end up with negative exponents? Well, right before negative is 0, right? So we got the 0 rule, which means, before negative exponents, 0 rule. We got to talk about the power rule. Power of a power. All right? If I have b to the x to the y, then what I'm allowed to do is multiply those. I'm really saying there's y amount of b to the x's. So if, let's say I have 3 2's, I can say 2 plus, or let's say 4 2's. I can say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? Which is 8. Or I can say 4 times 2. And that's what we're doing here. So we're saying y, we have a y amount of x's, so we're going to say x times y. That's it. B to the x times y. All right, 0 rule. Anything raised to 0 power is 1. Bingo. Huge, super important rule. We're using that a lot. Okay, so next, negative rule. Whenever you have a negative exponent, you're going to take that power, turn it positive, and bring it to the other spot of the fraction. So meaning there's really a fraction here, right? Let's get rid of that dot right there. So there's really a fraction here. B to the negative x over 1, right? But we never see that over 1 thing. But what we do here is the rule says, hey, I can make this positive if I just move it down to the denominator. So I take the numerator and move it to the denominator, okay? Now, with that said, if the denominator has a negative exponent, I can move it up and make it positive, right? So 2 different ways of dealing with negative exponents, right? Next, fractional exponent rule, right? Means I have a fraction as an exponent. This is super easy. Like we talked about with the root. The root of the radical, right, is in the bottom of the fraction. That's your root. Your square root, for example, b to the 1/2 is the square root, and there's really a hidden 2 right here, of b to the 1, right? So this one's saying, hey, b to the xy is equal to, well, the root, the y root of b to the x. So let's give a quick example. B to the 5/7, right, is equal to what? Well, there's a root here and there's a b, right? So let's change that color of 5. Where does this 5 go? It's in the top of it, right? It's not the root, it's the top of the plant, right? So that is connected to the b, right? Yet the root, the 7, right, is the root of the radical. So it's a 7 root b to the 5th. Okay? Fun times, right? So a lot of times we have some problems where we're like, hey, what if we have 33 a to the 5th, b to the -7th, all over 12 a squared b cubed times, let's say 15 a to the 4th over 22 let's say b to the 0, right? And then a to the -9, right? And then b to the 12. Something like this, right? And then the easy way, the quick way to go about these is to go through, deal with your numbers first, okay? Numbers first. So, does anything go into 33 and 12, right? Does anything go into both of those? And you're like, yeah, 3. 3 goes into 33 11 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And so I took a 3, right, out of the 33 and the 12. I have to take it out of both of them, right? These two. Does anything go into 15 and 22? I'm like, well, 2 and 11 and 3 and 5. So I would say no. But I do know that 11 goes into 22, right? So I could take an 11 out of here twice, and 11 out of 11 once, right? And so now I have 1 times 15, because okay, does 2 go into 15? No. Does 4 go into 15? No. So I got 1 times 15, which is 15, and I have 4 times 2, which is 8. So I know that my fraction is 15 over 8. Now I just deal with the A's and B's. So the A on top, let's deal with that as orange. So A, I'm saying it's 5 and A to the 4th. So because we're multiplying, we can okay, because we're multiplying, we could say that's 5 times 4, okay? 5 times 4, right? No. It's a to the 5th times a to the 4th. So we get to add the exponents. product rule says add the exponents. Okay? So what does that equal? 5 and 4 is 9. So I have a to the 9th. Okay? Let's do b. b, right, is negative 7, right, times b to the 0. So we get to add those two numbers. Well, that equals b to the negative 7. Okay? Make sure we can see that. All right? Then we have a squared times a to the negative 9th. So what I do there is I say a has a 2 plus a negative 9. So that equals negative 7. So I have a to the negative 7. Now, b is to the 3rd and 12. So we're just adding those two numbers. So that's 15. So I have b to the 15th, right? Okay, now switch to one color. I'm just seeing where each color goes to, right? And now I'm just going to rewrite it, come down, equals. The 15 and the 8, that doesn't change. But there are some rules here. Remember, negative exponent rule says I can take it from the bottom, right, and bring it to the top. So that this a is still up there. And now I can bring the other a up. Then I have this b still up there. But wait a minute. This is to a negative. So I can take it down below. So this b is positive, so I'm going to say b to the 15th. Take this negative 7 and make it into a positive 7, right? And again, I get to do my little trick again. Okay, so the a's, since I'm multiplying, right, I can add exponents. So 9 plus 7 equals 16. So I got 15 a to the 16th over 8b, and it's the b's are 15 plus 7, right? And so that's 22. Okay? It's a nice, easy, fast, fun way of doing your power rules. Okay? All right, enjoy, and we'll keep doing this.